How does it end? Author Orpheus to read for minutes published 29.05. 2021 updated 4.11. 2022 Romeo and Juliet is one of Shakespeare's early tragedies that is still popular in the world today. The work was created, presumably, in 1595. We think of this story as a model of sincere love that knows no barriers, but for Shakespeare and his contemporaries the point was the tragic disobedience of the children, and the consequences of the decisions made. Today we will briefly consider the plot, as well as how the tragedy, Romeo and Juliet, ends. Plot outline. The scene is medieval Verona, where for generations two families owners of the city, Capuletti and Montague. Both have children growing up. Romeo is in love with the unapproachable maiden Rosalia, while Juliet is engaged to the noble young man Paris. Romeo, out of teenage hooliganism, decides to sneak into a ball organized by the Capulet family. There the hero meets, gets acquainted and dances with Juliet. The young people fall in love at first sight. Soon the children learn that their parents are enemies, but this in no way interferes with their relationship. The couple is helped by Juliet's nurse and Romeo's confessor Friar Lorenzo. A scene on the balcony takes place, after which the lovers are married. Plot developments. Happiness is hindered by the conflict between Juliet's brother Tybalt and Romeo's friend Mercutio. Tybalt mocks the heroes, but Romeo does not go to provocations, since he now considers him his relative. Mercutio, on the other hand, comes into conflict, and arranges a duel on swords. The result is prosaic. Mercutio receives a mortal wound. The wounded man then says the canonical, "A plague on both your houses." The death of his friend provokes Romeo to engage in a sword duel with Tybalt. His wife's brother is killed. Romeo's second friend Benvolio suggests that he flee, as death in an illegal duel is equivalent to murder. Outraged townspeople gather in the square, and the Prince of Verona pronounces Romeo's sentence: from now on he is condemned to exile, or else he will be executed. But this half measure does not please Juliet at all. That same day Paris comes and weds the girl. The wedding is set for the next day. The nurse tells Juliet to put up with it, and immediately becomes her enemy. Romeo and Juliet spend their first and last night together. Lorenzo persuades Romeo to go into hiding, and promises to keep sending him letters. The climax. Juliet now has one friend, Lorenzo's brother. She turns to him for help. Together they devise a plan whereby Juliet drinks a sleeping potion to create the illusion of her death, and then unites with her lover. In the morning Juliet is found dead and buried in the crypt next to Tybalt. Lorenzo's letter does not reach Romeo, but he learns of his beloved's death and runs to her. The final scene takes place in the Capuletti crypt. Romeo finds Juliet in the crypt and is amazed that his beloved looks as if alive. This is also where Paris is hiding. A duel ensues between them, as a result of which Paris is killed. Romeo, heartbroken, takes poison to reunite with his beloved, not in life, but at least in death. The girl wakes up and sees her beloved dead. She is frantic that he has drunk all the poison, but finds a dagger nearby and kills herself. Both families enter the tomb. Lorenzo's brother tells them the story of the lovers. Tragedy reconciles the two families. The main problem of the play is the difference between generations. The parents of the protagonists could not understand their children, and they did not share the notions and views that guided their elders. This inconsistency led to a clandestine marriage and a tragic finale.